This is another thing that most people I'm not seeing do in the Salt Lake area, and that's revitalizing your soil by top dressing it with organic matter. So has anyone in the crowd top dressed your lawn before? No? Okay, pretty easy. Okay, we've got a couple. So the whole idea is instead of I'm sure everyone in this crowd has added compost to your garden before. You guys know how to do that. But instead of putting down a heaping amount, all you need to add is about 1/8 to 1/4 inch to your lawn, and you just need to rake it in. And by doing so, what that's going to do is it's going to be like an extra layer of fertilizer that you're adding to your soil. And it's going to be just like taking out a step of fertilizer. And what's important to this is if we've done our soil test, we're going to know about what the nutrients are needed in our lawn. So we need to be careful about the selection of the type of soil that we have. If you go to a soil vendor and if you ask them for their soil test, they'll be able to tell you what's in their soil, and then you'll be able to see what's lacking in your soil and if that's going to be a good match for you. I would highly recommend not buying soil from somebody if they can't provide a soil test, or if the soil test is not recommended with what is needed for your lawn. Okay, so just like what we've done in revitalizing the soil in our lawn, we also need to do that for our garden now. So now I think everyone in this room, or this hall, whatever we want to call this ginormous place, has top dressed or tilled in nutrient-rich organic matter or compost into your garden bed. The whole idea here is that our soil in our garden beds are going to be really dried out. They're not going to have any oxygen circulating through there, and they're just going to be in rough shape. So the idea is after winter, it's time to add that organic matter and to add that compost, and you can either till it in, or if you've recently tilled it in within the past year, you can top dress it and add that into your garden to start promoting that microbial activity so that you can get your lawn, so you can get your garden kicking and get it growing well. After you've reviewed those soil steps, that soil test, you'll know what it's needed, apply that soil, and you'll have some great things happening with this step. And all of this will lead to an increase in the life of your plants, and it's also going to lead to you having a healthier garden moving forward. People ask me, how often should I be adding organic matter to my garden? And I tell them every year. Either that's just 1/2 inch, 1 inch, to 4 inches, you want to be adding just a little bit every year because it's just going to help building up that microbial activity, and it's going to keep adding nutrients to your garden. Okay, so after we've gone through, yes, we have a question?
Is the mulch you get from the dump pretty good?
You have to look at the soil test to know, yeah. So the question was, is the mulch that you get from the dump any good? Now, I've seen soil tests of mulch or soil that's come from the dump that was really good stuff. And then I've seen some mulch that's come from dumps that had a pH of 9.8. If you guys don't know what that means it's bad stuff. It's really acidic, and it's got a lot of salt and ECs, and that's not what we want to be adding to our lawns and to our gardens. So again, if you're going to be purchasing mulch or soil from any vendor, make sure that they can provide a soil test to you, and make sure that it matches up with the soil test needs that are needed for your lawn or garden. Okay, anyway, so prune out damaged or dead branches. This is kind of if anyone takes a picture, this is the way that you kind of go about that. I won't go into that in too much detail. Okay. Here is another thing that I'm seeing people not taking advantage of in the Salt Lake County or in the Utah market, and that's overseeding your bare spots or your weak spots in your lawn. Who in this audience has overseeded their lawn before? Okay, so we've got a couple people. That's great. Okay, so the idea with overseeding your lawn is that all of our lawns, they go through a lot of stresses. We stress our lawns every week when we mow them. We stress our lawns when we overwater them. We stress our lawns when we don't water them enough. We stress our lawns by having a lawn in the garden. Most of the lawns in Utah don't have proper soil preparation, so they're very stressed from the get-go. One way that you can add and make it so they're not as stressed is by doing the top dressing, which we've already addressed, and adding organic matter to our lawns. And the second thing we can do, and second component to that, is by overseeding your lawn. General rule of thumb is if you're overseeding with bluegrass, you can apply 1 pound per 1,000 square feet, which is quite a value because 1 pound of bluegrass seed is going to cost anywhere from $5 to about $20. And if it's going to be of a fescue variety, it's going to be about 1 pound to 600 square feet. So most of the lawns that I'm seeing in the area are between 3,000 to 6,000 square feet, so it's not a very expensive ordeal. And what this does is it promotes more activity in your lawn. It's going to make it so that you have more plant population. It's going to promote more growth. And the nice thing about it as well is all of turfgrass research is very innovative right now. And if you're buying new grass seed, most likely you're going to get grasses that don't require as much seed, as much water, as much fertilizer. So if you put that in your lawn now, it's going to have long paid dividends for you later on.